And just as I'm thinking we need to run, it occurred to me that there were other people probably in the offices around us. At that point, I made the decision, we're going to search. We're going to search the offices. We're not going to leave anybody. It had to be about 8 o'clock, something like that, when I came in. The first building in New York had already been hit. Pretty sure everybody in the Pentagon was watching the TV the same way we were, just keeping an eye on things until it became clear, now we must act. We started to talk about gathering our people, making sure we knew where everybody was, making phone calls, find the recall roster if we needed it. And I walked out of my office and turned in the suite to head up towards my boss's office, which was just on the other side of the wall from me. And when I got to the admin chief's desk, that's when the plane hit. I remember sort of waking up on the floor, more or less, in front of the boss's office door and looking out towards the windows, and I could see, at that point, you can just see this sort of rolling, tumbling like a barrel, orange and black, rolling up against the windows. And when I got a chance to finally kind of look around, and again, consciousness is kind of coming in slowly, realizing the office has kind of broken in half because of the weight of the 5th floor sitting on our door frame. The door was wedged shut. It took us a good long while, and that young corporal pulled on that thing mightily to get that thing open. I of course, pitched in, as did everybody else who could, but that's a lot of weight sitting on a door frame. We finally got it open enough to get out. But in the meantime, the fire has now become invisible through the floor. Smoke is now pouring through the crack and other things, and it's starting to form a very thick black curtain, I would say, sort of gathering at the ceiling because it's super hot and super dense, and very slowly just sort of drifting downward like this as more smoke accumulated. And so we are very slowly hunching over more and more until we're bent over at the waist and we have our ties tied around our faces and so we can breathe. And we gathered at that crack and tried to decide one final time, okay, this is it, which way are we going to go? And right at that time, almost on cue, some guy appears on the north end of the hallway. He appears in the doorway and he's yelling, "If you can hear my voice, come this way." To be honest, I couldn't hear much. My eardrums are blown out. I had a pretty significant concussion. When I heard that, and my heart leaps, and I think, thank God, there's a way out. And just as I'm thinking we need to run, it occurred to me that there were other people probably in the offices around us. At that point, I made the decision, we're going to search. We're going to search the offices. We're not going to leave anybody. So we started the search right across the hall from our main office. I sent the corporal into the first suite of offices, and I stood in the doorway. Remember, at this point, you really can't see anything. So I said, you go in there, you check these offices, and check under the desk kind of thing. And I said, you got 10 seconds. At the count of 10, I'm coming in after you. So he goes in and he starts searching around. Sure enough, finds somebody under one of the desks. And that is an affirmation for me, like, okay, this really does need to be done because it's not looking too good. This would be a good time to run. So we took heart from that and we began to search the rest of the offices. And we finally get through that process. I don't know how long it took, I have no idea. And as all this is happening, you have to envision it has this urgency to it that I can't really describe. And then we got to the construction entrance, and I think as soon as we got there, the south end collapsed behind us. And so I got that one right. We got through the construction entrance and then onto the other side of the doorway there, this plywood door. And it was pretty clear, that's now the old, unrenovated Pentagon on the other side of the construction entrance. Original World War II era windows, well, a lot of those had blown out, which meant oxygen forced its way in or got sucked in, and those offices ignited. Well, one of the strange twists here, it didn't seem all that bad to me because that was just a fire. Didn't seem to be any danger it was going to drop in on my head. And so I'd say we, with some relief, strolled on out to the 5th corridor and headed inward to the A-ring to find a way out. And we wound up leading a fairly large contingent of people out of that section. And we got turned away at 2 exits. Nope, keep going, go down here, go down there. Finally got down to where the Pentagon metro entrance was inside the building. And the guard tried to turn us around, and I said, buddy, we've been turned away twice. We're leaving this building right here, right now. He's like, if you want to shoot me, you go ahead and shoot me, but I'm leaving. And I'm in front, so there's like, at this point, 20, 30 people behind me. He just got out of the way, and we went down the escalator, across the platform, and up the other side to the outside. And that's how we got out. Initially, I felt very strongly that we needed to communicate to people that we were okay, that a lot of Americans had been killed, but that, we were going to get up. If you just look at the last couple of years, you can see very clearly the unity that we had after September 11th has faded to a large extent. And it's too bad because we still have Marines in the field, and I don't want them to be forgotten. So I would encourage people to be a little more respectful and be a little more patient with each other. I'd love to see us have a little bit more of that unity that we had on September 12th, 2001.